Hey guys, welcome back to class. This is Brian from BAM Anxiety, and I teach you guys emotional freedom to be yourself. If you guys aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you know when I have new content coming out. So I created this concept of Parseltongue. Potterheads or people that are familiar with Harry Potter, Parseltongue is the ability to talk to the serpent, the basilisk. This basilisk is our ego. It's the thing that balances between the satisfactions of our emotions through the superego, morality and guilt, and the id, which is our instant gratification, our primal impulses. This serpent needs to be happy or nobody is happy. So we need to be able to charm it, speak to it in its tongue. At any moment, we are constricting or constructing our reality. We are stopping and inhibiting ourselves from creating, or we are creating. As we are looking at the ability to release, we need to understand one thing moving on forward. Body is a mind, mind is body. We have this center of information, our spine, right? In the yogic practice is the Kundalini energy that's moving up in our spine, as well as the bioenergetics from the scientific perspective of how energy moves in our body. We have the informations, right? Sacral, lumbar, thoracic, cervical, and these control our bodily functions as well as the movements that we have in our body. So when this serpent is not happy, it will constrict how we move and tense and relax in our body. And that's how we process emotions. This body is our pet. It is the vehicle that is interacting with the environment, the person-environment transaction. So being able to charm this snake is being able to allow it to be for what it is so it can be favorable to you. So being able to relax and release is the first technique that we will learn. Feeling the back and relaxing the front. Now, emotional releasing is a psychosomatic bringing to emotional equilibrium. We have unprocessed emotion in ourselves and we need to be objective about it. It's kind of like animals, right? Our body will feel things, it cannot speak, but it's like a pet, right? So when we're not kind to our pet, it's going to react a certain way, it's going to constrict, it's going to bind. So being able to relax the front and feel the back is allowing the clenching to release. We have clenching that will occur in our bodies because the vagus nerve controls the front part of our eyes, facial expressions when we're trying to control them, our throats when we're trying to speak, as well as our chest when we're feeling, diaphragm, breathing, solar plexus, navel, and pelvis. So this snake is the thing that freezes up. It's the lizard part of our brain that occurs when we are stuck in fear. Being able to understand when we have these moments is being able to understand when we have contractions. So these contractions are like the metaphor of having a baby. They're not fun, right? They're very painful. And you just gotta ride the wave. This is the only way, right? You wanna be able to relax and release. These moments occur when the body's trying to gasp for air, right? There's too much emotional pressure that is occurring, and it's like a tea kettle. It's just gonna burst if we don't have a little releasing of pressure that we need, because we'll set the whole house on fire, right? The house that the ego built is gonna actually burn down eventually. So these contractions are moments that we need to take responsibility over the emotions. We take responsibility over our baby. We need to know, how did I create this moment? How did I bring myself into this moment? And then once you take responsibility, it allows the ability to look at opportunities. But yet, these contractions are feelings. So because you're not feeling, you're resisting. And as you relax more and release, then you can experience life for what it is, rather than a warped understanding and perception of reality. If we can't do that kinesthetically, we can try to do that visualization wise, right? We can do that mentally. As we look at the mind as the body, body's mind, we have doors, right? We have these clenchings in these areas or centers of energy. These are our brains. So as we open up these doors, we can let the energy just kind of flow out. Again, our pet can't really speak to us, but it feels everything that we give it. So even if we want to talk to our body, it's going to understand us. It's very smart. It's like a pet, right? You want to be able to let it relax and let go of the energy that it's experiencing. So sometimes that means mental blocks. Sometimes that means the emotional constriction that we have when we're closing our chest or closing ourselves or closing the heart to the people, and the opening of ourselves to the world so we can bring it in. As we are open to the world will open up to us. So the visualization is basically opening up doors and windows. You can think of vortexes or portals. You want to be able to let go of all that stink, all that junk that you have, and reorganize and allow it to just kind of free up, throw it out in the front lawn, not in your neighbor's yard, right? And let the trash man take the trash. Even if it's just the small stuff, just let it just go. And then it'll free up a little bit more of your house. Free up some of the energy that you have going on in there. Next, let's look at the mentalization or the verbal mechanisms of how we release. Now, this is a little bit more advanced, right? Because it's working with our psychology. Nonetheless, I do want to kind of touch on the topics, but we will visit them in depth in our next video. So reset, reword is basically creating your reality all over again. If you guys are familiar with Harry Potter, in the second movie or the Chamber of Secrets book, he reads Tom Riddle's diary, right? And he derives meaning from the experience that he had. Now, this could be from present, past, or future. It's all in the same timeline, and however we're experiencing it, it's going to be our attitude towards it. We have learned by Viktor Frankl, who coined the term logotherapy, that we can derive meaning from the actions that we do in life, the experiences of ourselves and other people, as well as the attitude that we have towards life, especially during the hard times. He was a German Nazi prisoner survivor, if that says anything. And he was able to find peace, especially in very dark times. So healing through words, logo, the Greek word for wisdom, meaning, truth, logic, will allow you to kind of reorganize and create your reality, right? Logotherapy, I like to call it as Python, the metaphor of the programming software that programmers use. Revisit, rethink, rewrite. Now you can also think about this as a book that you're writing, your story. You want to understand that there are energies occurring in the background, right? There are stories or books that we need to read. Why? Because our minds are problem-solving machines. As we are letting the computer run, it won't run properly if programs are running in the back of our minds, or if we have this stack of emotions or books that we need to read to write our essay or our diary. So we want to revisit, rethink, rewrite. Again, very advanced concepts, but yet I want to touch base on them so you kind of have an idea before we go into the next video. Revisit. So you want to be able to recontextualize the meaning that you are deriving from the experience. This is being positive. This is saying phrases such as, this too shall pass, it's not that bad, this is supposed to happen. Being able to reframe it from a different picture. Again, logotherapy is timeline therapy. They do very similar trials when they've done MDMA therapy with veterans that have had PTSD. They'll revisit a traumatic experience, and because they are at a high emotional state, they can gloss over the hue. They can look at the world from their rose-colored glasses and derive a different meaning to it, because it's not as harsh, it's not as black as white, it's more colorful. So being able to revisit allows you to recontextualize what you are experiencing. Rethinking allows you to look at the bindings, right? It's all tangled up, and this is where the programming comes in, right? Being able to reprogram yourself allows you to look at the attachments and aversions, the parts that you approve and disapprove of yourself, and the advantages and disadvantages of feeling these feelings. Because again, there is a separation between mind and body, and that is the serpent, because it's not satisfied, which means that you aren't processing your emotions properly. Finally, rewriting. This is taking control and responsibility over the fact that you are feeling these emotions, right? Being able to ask through the Socratic method of why and for what purpose. Why are you doing something and for what purpose are you doing it? Are you trying to satisfy your needs of approval, right? Love, control, or safety? Can you allow yourself to rewrite it, recontextualize it in a manner that you're taking responsibility over your emotions? Radical honesty and radical acceptance. Again, we will visit these more in depth, but radical honesty allows you to be honest with yourself, with others, and this current situation as you're being present. We're looking at the thoughts, feelings, and reactions, and we want to be able to be honest with ourselves. Are we telling ourselves a story? Are we telling people stories? Are we managing expectations? Or are you trying to control them? Are we managing impressions? And what is the reality of what is occurring right now in this moment? Are we being honest with ourselves? Now, radical honesty will hit the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. So keep that in mind as you are being honest with people. Finally, radical acceptance is the welcoming. You want to be able to accept things for what they are. And that's just allowing the wants, right? The want for control and trying to change things and why people are the way they are and the meaning that we derive from the stories, and can we let go of the stories, stop trying to relive it or make it real. And also the welcoming of emotions. We haven't been able to welcome emotions in our lives because we are resistant to them. We are constricting to them. So feelings that are negative, right? We have shame and despair, guilt, lust, pride, anger, even the good emotions, because we don't know how to process them as well, which is the acceptance, the peace, the joy, and the love that is so overwhelming that we attach ourselves to it. We become addicted to them. So being able to be accepting allows you to accept more and welcome more into your life, because that's what life is asking of you rather than what you're asking of life. It's asking you, what is the meaning of life? And your responsibility is to see it through for what it is. No matter what these circumstances are, you are radically accepting them for what it is. So that kind of gives you an idea of emotional releasing, right? Again, we'll look into the more advanced stuff in our next video as we're looking at reset, reword. Now you guys can actually learn to relax and release. Know when your body is tensing up. Again, mind is body and body is mind. What is occurring right now? Why is it that you don't feel relaxed, you don't feel light, you don't feel happy? It's because this serpent is not happy. So if we're not feeding it good stuff, we're feeding it venom, and we don't want to feed our snake venom because it's just going to bite us back. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward with the emotional releasing. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you really enjoy that. Feel free, follow me on Instagram if you want to get a more personal view of who I am, BAAM_ANX, as well as like the Facebook page so you know when I'm putting out new content, as well as new information out there to help you guys live a happier life. As well as if you guys are interested in any coaching, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free and contact me directly. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out and about what I just talked about. Peace.